Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd do a little makeup tutorial for all of those out there that are on lockdown, in self-isolation, that sort of thing. First off, if you hear any screaming or crying, it's my beautiful little nieces. They're very expressive. Anyway, so I thought I'd do this like a little chit chat. We can chat to each other. Let me see how you guys are doing. I know it's a really difficult time right now. I was initially working from home. Now I've actually been put on furlough leave, which is unfortunate, but at least I have not lost my job and I will just have to take a slight pay cut, which is lucky because I know that there are a lot of other people out there that are in a worse situation. So first off, I decided I wanted to go for something quite full glam today, or full coverage. So I'm going to be using the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Finish Foundation. It's the stick one and my shade is in Golden Tan. This is what it looks like that. It's a little bit on the lighter side, which is perfect for me at the moment. So yeah, so basically I've been trying to kind of keep to a certain type of routine every day, because I'd say the UK has now been under lockdown for about 2 weeks now, and I have been working from home until I was furloughed. I work in property, and obviously the property market has completely stalled, and then that means there's not much as the head of marketing I can do, because I can't market something that is not available for people to instantly buy, move into, or even think to the future. So it made sense to furlough my job role, because I wasn't really doing much at home. I was doing a little bit, but I was struggling to do any work because, like I said, I can't. All our construction sites had to stop because of all the people that are obviously on site that can't keep within 2 meters from each other because it's almost impossible. Just gonna layer up a little bit more. Always like to cover my other areas a little bit extra. For those people out there that work in the NHS, like my brother, like my cousins and their partners, and one of my cousins in particular is a surgeon who is working in ICU with coronavirus patients. He's not been allowed home, he has to live in a hotel. And people like that, you know what, I salute you and I thank you for everything that you're doing. This is not what you signed on for. No one signed on for this. There's never been a pandemic like this for about 100 years. And times have changed, generations have changed, job titles have changed, jobs have changed. They're putting their lives on the line to save people like me and you. So when there are people that are just ignoring rules like stay at home, what's the big deal? It's a silent killer out there at the end of the day. It could be on your body right now and you have no idea. And by now, and by the end of the day, you may have already passed it on to God knows how many people. You could be responsible for the death of somebody else. Imagine that for a second. You may be fine, but somebody else may not be because of you. I'm happy enough with my foundation. All right, I'm going to do my brows now. I'm going to be using the Brow Archery in the shade Dark Chocolate from Soap and Glory. And I'm just going to first off just brush out any product that may be in there. I've been plucking my own eyebrows. I mean, I got them threaded before we went on lockdown because I knew lockdown was coming, so I got them threaded. Now I'm just kind of trying to maintain them, which is, it's the maintenance which is not easy. All right, so I'm just going to very slightly fill them in lightly because this color is quite dark, and I have really been loving over the past 12 months much more softer brows. I've already got dark hair as it is. They don't need to be made any darker. You know, those Sharpie brows, that's not really my style. Each to their own, but for me, when I've got dark hair, I don't want my brows to be overpowering the rest of my makeup. See, that's pretty much enough, right? You saw how quick that was, yeah? And that's pretty much it for this side. Just brush it through as well. I'm gonna tidy it up with a little bit of concealer. I'm used to normally doing my eyebrows like this, you see. Not on camera with a mirror all the way down there that you can't see. Or I've accidentally messed up the front of that. See, that's why it's good using concealer, because sometimes it's always them little mess ups, man. Okay, so the concealer I bought with me today from my little stash is this one from MAC. It's the 24-hour Studio Fix Smooth Wear Concealer. My shade is an NC35. Love this concealer, full coverage, very nice and brightening under my eyes. So I'm going to use this to carve out my brows as well as to do my under eye concealer. I've got this little MAC old school concealer brush. It's one of those small ones from the large, any concealer brush will do basically. What I tend to do is I just take a decent enough amount and then I start to carve them out. This also helps if you've got any little brow hairs that are growing. It covers them up, makes the area a lot more smoother. Not everybody does it all the way around like I do. That's down to personal preference. I'm a perfectionist. I like clean lines. I don't like smudges. It's a character flaw of mine, being a perfectionist, I'll tell you. People hear the word perfectionist and they're like, oh, that sounds like good. I think, yeah, no, it's not. It's not. It means I'm never happy. Just use my brush to just brush over the top bit. And then just use my ring finger to just blend it out. And now to do exactly the same on the other side. Am I the only one who holds their breath when they do stuff like this? I'm like, don't move. Yeah, so I'll be honest with you, the main reason I decided to do this video is because I know that a lot of people are kind of starting to now feel very kind of lethargic, very depressed, very bored, very anxious. They've got a lot of anxiety happening. People are starting to do that whole, well, I don't need to get up in the morning on time. I'm gonna stay in my pajamas all day long. I'm not gonna wash my face. I'm not gonna. And I think that those kind of things and that kind of mentality definitely fuels more depressive outbursts within yourself. I'm not to say that I'm perfect, but I'm somebody who likes to keep busy all the time. Like literally every single day I've been so busy up until I go to bed. But a lot of that has to do with my personality, my character. I'm somebody who cannot sit still for long. My mum is exactly the same. I'm just like her. And I complain that she's always saying that she's busy, and we always like pile on so much work onto her, and I'm like, Mum, why don't you chill? And she's like, no, I'm busy, I'm doing this. And then I realize I'm just like that. Am I the only one turning into their mum? I can't be the only one. So in order for me to retain a sense of normality, I promised myself I would get up the same time as I would do when I go to work, get up, have breakfast, have a shower, do my makeup, get changed. No, I'm not wearing like smarter well, I generally tend to wear what I want anyway. And I'll be honest with you, I did want to show you my new t-shirt because it's so cute. Look, it's a rabbit. It's a little text message rabbit. It's from ASOS, and I really wanted to do a makeup look to go with this t-shirt as well ever since I bought it. And yeah, so in order to retain a sense of normality, I've just been getting up and doing full glam like I would do on a normal working day every day. It makes me feel normal. It makes me feel more grounded. It makes me feel like I've got more control over what's going on around me, even though technically I don't and you don't either. Now I know a lot of people are like, oh well, I've not worn any makeup, I've not done anything. Well, who's gonna see it? And I'm like, but I wear makeup for me. You obviously don't. You obviously wear makeup for other people. Why do you care what other people think of how you look? Whereas I'm sitting indoors, ain't no one seeing me except my family, and I'm wearing a full glam makeup because I'm doing it for myself. I don't care about what other people think of me, but I care about what I think about myself and how I feel inside, and how my mood tends to reflect on the way that I look as well. And if I feel sad, I will look sad. If I look upbeat, I will feel upbeat. I know it's like a really weird way of thinking about things, but to me, that's just what works best. Alright, so we're going to use the concealer under the eyes, blend it out with a beauty sponge, and then I'm going to use Huda Beauty's Blondie Easy Bake Setting Powder to set it all. It's my favourite. Just going to whack this under the eyes now. Oh, it feels so nice and creamy. I love it. There we go. Let it settle for a moment while I have a little sip of my Canada's finest ginger ale that you guys know I love. And now I'm going to blend it all out. Now I'm going to set it with the powder. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, it's gone up my nostrils. How? My God, I went way overboard with that powder, didn't I? Alright, the obligatory 5 to 10 seconds of leaving it under the eyes. Oh, come on. Oh gosh, that's gone all over my clothes. Luckily, it's an orange t-shirt, but still. A little bit around the brows as well, especially where I've placed concealer, just to set it and stop it sliding around when the natural oils in my skin set themselves free. For the face, as per usual, the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder by Charlotte Tilbury in the shade number 2 medium. Use that everywhere. Alright, so that's the actual main base done. This is basically exactly how I do my makeup every single day. Just changing the products, but the technique is exactly the same. It does not change whatsoever. I'm happy with it, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, now I'm going to prime my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Classic. A little bit of that. I don't apply too much, to be honest. And then what I tend to do is I will take whatever powder is left on my brush and just run it across the eyes just to smooth out the primer if it's still tacky or sticky. Just making the base really nice and smooth for myself. Okay, so the eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using today is the Huda Beauty Neon Orange Obsessions palette, because it's got exactly the same colours as my t-shirt, so it made sense to use this, but there's no highlighting shade in here. So I've got this highlighter, which is from Dose of Colours. It was by the KT Desi collection. It's in the shade Mirame. It's a beautiful golden highlighter. I'm going to use that on my brow bone to highlight. I'm just gonna whack it right here under the brow bone. So how have you lot been holding up when it comes to leaving your house? Like in terms of lockdown, I'm paranoid. Every time I go out to do any kind of grocery shopping, honestly, I'm just immediately paranoid. Like, you can't help it, even though you know you're allowed to be out. It's just like the police are all over the streets, questioning people, bugging people, being a little bit too heavy-handed in the UK, admittedly. So the first shade I'm going to use is this central shade right in the middle, and I'm going to use a Morphe M330 blending brush, which is my favorite blending brush. I've got about 5 of these, and I'm just going to run that through the crease. So yeah, so like I was saying, I just feel paranoid all the time. The thing is, my dad is 72, mashallah. He just turned 72 the other day. He had to have his birthday in lockdown. My mum is in her 60s and in good health, but still, you know, you can't be too careful when it comes to your parents. Alright, so the next shade I'm going to use is this slightly deeper orange here, and I'm going to place that in the lower part of my crease using exactly the same brush. Just going to make sure that I kind of dig it in here and then blend it upwards. Going with a light hand to begin with because it is very pigmented. Just to deepen it and to give my crease a little bit more definition. While I have a lot of lid space, I don't have the best kind of crease, but I do have one, so I can't complain too much. So yeah, so like I was saying, you know, it's a scary time, it's a worrying time. A lot of people are feeling very anxious, but the one thing and the best way that I have found being able to cope is by being busy. I'm always busy, always doing something, even if it's just a matter of self-care, like spending time on your nails, or, you know, doing your feet one day, making a list on Monday or Sunday evening. Today I'm filming this, it is Sunday, but making a list on a Sunday evening. Monday I'm going to do this, Tuesday I'm going to do this, Wednesday I'm going to do this, and do that every week. Once you've planned out your week, you feel a lot less stressed because you kind of know what's going on. It's the whole not knowing which is affecting people the most mentally. I mean, I really don't think that a lot of governments really took into consideration the way that people's mental health is going to be affected by this whole virus, being forced to stay inside. Obviously, so many care services have been cut, so people who rely on daily visits from carers, or if they've got mental health issues, they can ask somebody for support, somebody to come see them. They can't do that now, so they're basically isolated. Domestic abuse has definitely gone up. In the UK alone, I think there's been 3 or 4 murder cases based on domestic abuse, because women are unfortunately stuck inside their houses with their abusers, whereas previously they could have, I don't know, gone to their mums or spent the day out shopping or out and away from that situation, only to return in the evening, go to sleep, get up in the morning and do the same thing again, whereas now they're completely trapped. So I definitely think that a lot of governments have been focusing so much on the money side of things, the economic side of things, but they haven't really thought about the more domestic things. All right, now we're going to go in with this kind of reddish orange shade here, and I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills number A12 brush and just go into the crease a little bit, just to give it a slightly different color other than just orange, because I'm pretty much just using orange on my eyes today. So this is just to mix it up a little bit and to make it look nice and spring-like. I mean, it's a beautiful spring day as I film this. It's 20 degrees outside. So what I've actually been doing is I bought a skipping rope and I've been skipping in my back garden. Bloody hell, that takes a lot out of you. Works your abs, your arms, your ass, your legs, your thighs, everything. Oh my God. And I've been doing 25 to 35 minutes on the days where I'd normally go to the gym in the morning, again, to get myself fresh and ready for the day. That's how I've been getting my exercise. My yoga has now moved online. So my teacher's been holding classes online on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Sundays. She's actually added an extra class, which is the Sunday. I normally just used to go Thursday classes. So I have been doing that as well. So I've been keeping up my exercise. I've been keeping myself occupied, you know, and that's the best way to get through all of this. All right, I think that looks nice and fiery. Kind of fiery, doesn't it? It looks cute. I like it. So next I'm going to move on to one of the shimmery shades, which is this orange foiled shade, and I'm going to use my finger to apply it because I find that they apply best with the finger. Another good thing to do is obviously keep in touch with your friends and family. Oh my God, I swear I'm in so many different WhatsApp groups. Firstly, everybody's become a coronavirus doctor all of a sudden, like sharing this, sharing that. And you know what? I actually don't find it helpful at all. I actually think that it kind of adds to the scaremongering, adds to the anxiety. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, and only maybe hearing things from the news that you choose to watch once a day, not every second of every day, making your panic even more and more worse when you hear about stats and peaks and second peaks and third peaks and all that kind of stuff, you know. It's really stressful. But I do think keeping in touch with friends and family is important, especially if, like me, you've got a couple of relatives that are literally on their own. Like my dad keeps in touch with his siblings every single day, make sure they're all okay, make sure my granddad is okay. I keep in touch with all my friends. I swear I've never spoken to my friends more than I have during lockdown. Like literally my phone is constantly buzzing. Even now I've had to put my phone on silent while I'm filming this. It's going bzz, bzz. So this is looking really pretty now. So let's move on to the lower lash line. I think I'm going to probably use this same orange that I used in the lower crease, as it is not too dark but not too light either, and just place it under here. And then what I'm going to do is just wipe off my brush a little bit and then use that same middle kind of orange soda shade to blend it out a little bit to make it a little less harsh and a little softer. I'm just going to apply my kohl to my lash line. The pencil that I use is the Scandalized one by Rimmel in black. It's so mingy, it's like almost broken. Okay, so now that is done. Now for the tear duct, we're definitely going to have to use this kind of yellowy, chartreusey green sort of colour just to make it like pop even more. Just going to use my classic old school MAC pencil brush and just pop it right there to really open up the eyes. I'm a big fan of tear duct shades. They really open up the eyes no matter what shape eyes you have. It's a particularly good tip for people who've got really small eyes. It really makes them like stand out. Okay, so the eyeshadow is now done, so let's move on to the liquid eyeliner. Obviously Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner, my fave. Forgive me, in order for me to do this straight and properly I have to hold up my mirror here, because them YouTubers that do it from a distance, I rate you because I can't. You're cheating somehow, but I just don't know how. Wow, I love this liner. Look how black it is. I'm not even going over the same area, I'm just going over the bits that I've missed. It's so intense. And that's it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to hold my breath and not talk because yeah, it's not easy. Okay, so that's it for my eyeliner. So let's leave the eyes for a moment. I'll do my eyelashes in a few minutes, let the eyeliner dry slightly. Let's move on to the face now. Sorry to disappoint, but obviously it's going to be the Anastasia Beverly Hills Saddle Powder Bronzer, my favourite. Oh, I can just hear my dad outside walking up and down the garden because he's too scared to actually go out. And I understand it. I mean, he's just turned 72. By all means, mashallah, my dad is in very good health. However, he did have a heart attack a couple of years ago and he carries a little bit of water on his lungs. So obviously he's paranoid. Loads of people are paranoid. Not just that, when you keep hearing about, oh, this person died and they had no underlying health issues, and then you think, could that be me? But my argument with that is that some people don't know they have underlying health issues. They could have passed away because of those reasons, but they didn't know that they had them. I can't imagine anything more upsetting for a family than knowing you can't be there for your loved one in their final moments and before their body leaves this world. You know, it's really sad. All right, now I'm going to use the Easy Bake powder here to just tidy up my contour slightly. Let's move on to the blush, and the blush I'm using today is Life's a Peach blush by Sleek Makeup, and it looks like this. You just pat it on. I don't tend to sweep blushes much. Well, not initially anyway. I just tend to push it into the skin and then blend it out if I need to. The apples of my cheeks, I don't put the blush there. I put it up higher up here because I have an oval shaped face. If you've got a small face and a long face, here is better, because if you do it up here, you'll make your face look more elongated. I'm trying to do that, but you don't need to do that if you've already got a long face. Alright, now we're going to use the same dose of colours highlighter, and I love this highlighter. So pretty, golden, metallic. There's no glitter in it, so it definitely does not accentuate pores and texture like a lot of other highlighters do. And then a little bit on the nose, just to give my nose some dimension. One thing I did want to mention is the amount of people that are wasting food. Oh my god, one of my friends, I'm not going to mention her on here, but she'll hopefully see this video and she'll know who I'm talking about, her flatmate, throwing food in the bin. Use some common sense. If it looks alright, it smells alright, you can eat it. Just because a packet of food says used by the 1st of April and it's the 1st of April, don't mean throw it in the bin. This is what this chick has been doing. Talk about wastefulness. I mean, there are so many people who've lost their jobs, that are literally on the breadline. The amount of people that have signed on for universal credit, oh my god. And then you've got people like this who literally buy so much food that they cannot consume all of it within a certain period of time. And even when they can, they're still throwing it in the bin. Talk about wasteful. That's called first world privilege. You know, there are countries out there that are struggling, and we've got people in this country behaving like that. Shame on you people out there, honestly. One day you'll know what it's like to be poor, and then what you'll be going through bins to find food. Yes, it can get that bad from some people. Alright, so I'm just going to set my brows. I'm using the NYX Control Freak Clear Brow Gel. It's really, really good. Keeps my brows in place all day. Stops them moving around. So the eyelashes I'm going to be using are the Huda Beauty Jade number 13 Faux Mink Lashes. And I'm going to be applying them with my House of Lashes Eyebrow Adhesive. This is the black one. There's no latex in these, so they're nice and easy for me to use. I pop some of that on there, stop these moving around. Not that it matters when you're on self-isolation. If it falls off, you can just go back upstairs and put it on again. I mean, in a way, there are so many people that'll be saving a lot of money because they're not going out, like myself included. I mean, I know I'm going to take a cut to my salary, but in the grand scheme of things, I ain't spending money. I'm not going shopping. I'm not going out with my friends. I'm not going to restaurants and cinemas and all the things that we took for granted, all those trivial, silly little things that now we're all missing, you know. So we will be saving a lot more money in the long run, hopefully. I always use these Lash tweezers. I got these from Primark. Back when Primark was open. See what happens, Primark, now you ain't got no online store. See, they always used to think how smart they were. We don't have an online store. We're forcing people to come into our stores and shop. That's how we've managed to be so successful that we've continuously opened up new stores. Then I normally use my Tweezerman tweezers to just fiddle around with them. I'm never happy with my eyelash placement. I always go in and fiddle. That's alright, that's why it's good to have tweezers. Let's now do this eye. That one was a lot more easier, wasn't it? Yeah. No, I take it back. It was hovering mid-air. It was tricking me. It wasn't actually stuck. It was just hanging around. So I tend to use the Maybelline The Falsies Push Up Angel. This is the waterproof one, I think. It's because it's got a really thin, long brush. So very easy to do the lower lash line. and you don't have to worry about getting it on your skin underneath because the brush is so long. I always like to highlight my Cupid's bow because then it appears to make your lips look a little bit fuller. Not that I need it, but I do it anyway. Okay, I wanted to go for kind of some peachy lips today. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a mixy-matchy sort of thing. I'm going to mix Huda Beauty's lip contour in Icon with my favourite lipstick. You guys have seen me wear it so many times. It's the Naturally Nudes lipstick by Too Faced in the shade Birthday Suit. I always wear this mixed with other lipsticks, whether it's a dark brown to make a caramel nude, a more taupey colour for a more neutral colour. This is like the perfect everyday nude. I don't like to wear on its own, otherwise it's a bit too concealer mouth for me. But to mix it with other things is great. So let's do the lip liner first, freshly sharpened. To be fair, this on its own looks quite cute, right? Okay, and now let's blend in the lipstick. Wipe off the lipstick if you need to, because obviously the colour is changing now. And now you can see it's turned really nice and peach. So there we go for the lipstick. The makeup is pretty much done. Let me just set it now. So I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Resting Boss Waterproof Setting Spray. Remember, close your mouth. Oh, and there we go. There we have it. What do you guys think? Okay, so that's it for my little tutorial that I wanted to share with you guys. Just a little bit of fun. A little bit of a distraction, a little bit of trivial nonsense just to get you through the day. I really hope that a lot of you are doing all right. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I am worried about so many people, and more so their state of mind more than anything else. It is very difficult being stuck indoors. I've got the luxury of having a car, so if I want to go out, I can go out in my car. I can drive to the supermarket, I can drive back, I can drive around the corner, around the block 2-3 times, and I'm okay. People that don't have that luxury are a little bit more stranded, a little bit more stuck. I'm also lucky that I've got a massive back garden where I can go and I can enjoy some fresh air, in polluted London, and some sunshine and that sort of thing. There are other people that are literally stuck indoors with no outside access whatsoever. So just remember, try to keep calm. The best thing, like I said earlier, is I would suggest definitely making a list for the week and trying to keep to that list in order to retain some sort of normality. Also, if you are like me and you are in a house of a lot of people, try to be a little bit more understanding, try to be a little bit more patient with space and that sort of thing. We've had to do that in my house. You do feel that you are kind of on the edge slightly, just remove yourself from the situation, go into a different room, just make a phone call to somebody that you love, that you trust. You know, the one thing that I do have to say, how we are so lucky and we're so blessed, is that this has happened in the digital age. If this had happened 20 years ago when there were no smartphones, the internet was still very new, can you imagine how much more difficult it would be? We are lucky that we have these. I can pick up my phone, I can FaceTime my friends, I can WhatsApp call them abroad, my family abroad, you know, my mate around the corner, that sort of thing. You are always connected to somebody. There's nothing wrong with thinking about your family and your health, but there are other people out there that are so much more worse off than we are, so we can't forget about those people out there. Remember, stay kind, stay humble, and stay safe. That's all I can say. I love you all, and I hope you are doing well, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.